Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox. I'm the Compliance Evangelist, and I'd like to welcome you to an exciting new podcast series, Popcorn and Compliance at the Movies with Tom Fox and Jay Rosen. In this podcast series, Jay and I are going to take a look at movies, both classic and contemporary movies, for compliance lessons, business lessons, leadership lessons, and life lessons. This podcast series is a new offering from the Compliance Podcast Network. And today it is sponsored by One Stone Creative.
If you are enjoying this show, you might enjoy hosting your own. As an expert in your field, you have skills, knowledge, and insight that can help you expand your practice, meet new people, and create amazing content to share with the world. In as little as 2 hours a week, you can dramatically change how you promote, fill, and position your business. And One Stone Creative can show you how. Learn more at onestonecreative.net.
In this introductory 5-part, 1-week podcast series, Jay and I take a look at the intersection of Star Wars and compliance. This is truly one of our favorite movie series, and I know that you will enjoy it too, as Jay and I take a look at how Star Wars, the movies, can inform your compliance program. Popcorn and Compliance is a new offering of the Compliance Podcast Network. Today we take a look at Episode 7, The Force Awakens. Hello everyone, this is Tom Fox, back again with Jay Rosen for Part 4 of our 5-part exploration of the Star Wars series. Each day we are exploring one movie and taking a compliance lesson from it. Today we're going to take a look at Episode 7, The Force Awakens, and the compliance concept of disruptive innovation. Jay, you want to set the stage for us?
Sure. So 30 years have passed since the destruction of the second Death Star. Luke has disappeared and Han and Leia have split up. He's still a freighter captain who mourns his failed marriage and misses his prized ship, the Millennium Falcon. The Resistance, led by General Leia, opposes the First Order while searching for her brother Luke Skywalker. Resistant pilot Poe Dameron searches for a map to Luke's hidden location. Stormtroopers commanded by the mysterious Kylo Ren destroy the village and capture Poe. Poe's droid BB-8 escapes with the map and encounters our heroine, a scavenger named Rey. FN-2187 frees Poe. They escape in a stolen TIE fighter, and Poe dubs FN-2187 and gives him the name Finn. They crash on Jakku, and Finn survives, but he believes that Poe has perished in the crash. Finn encounters Rey and BB-8. They steal the Millennium Falcon from a junkyard and plan to escape. But the Falcon is captured by a larger ship piloted by Han Solo and Chewbacca. This ties us back into the original trilogy. At the First Order Starkiller base, Supreme Leader Snoke allows General Hux to use the weapon for the first time. The crew travels to the planet Takodana and meets with Cantina owner Maz Kanata, who offers to get BB-8 to the Resistance. Rey finds the lightsaber that once belonged to Luke and his father, Anakin Skywalker. The First Order attacks Takodana in search of BB-8. Han, Chewbacca, and Finn are saved by Resistance X-Wing fighters led by Poe. Leia arrives to C-3PO and reunites with Han and Chewbacca. Ren captures Rey and takes her to the Starkiller base. Ren interrogates her about the map, and she uses the Force and escapes with a callback to using a Jedi mind trick on the nearby guard. The Resistance plans to destroy the superweapon. Han confronts Ren, calling him by his birth name, Ben. He implores him to abandon the dark side, but Ren refuses and kills his father. An injured Ren pursues Finn and Rey to the surface. A lightsaber battle breaks out between Ren and Finn, leaving Finn badly wounded. Rey takes the lightsaber and uses the Force to defeat Ren before they are separated by a fissure as the planet begins to disintegrate and implode. Escape with Finn and the Falcon. Starkiller base's core ignites into a new star. The Resistance celebrates while Leia, Chewbacca, and Rey mourn Han Solo's death. R2-D2 then suddenly awakens and reveals the rest of the secret map, which Rey follows to the oceanic planet of Octu, where she finds Luke and returns his lifesaver.
So, Jay, I'd like to use this particular episode in the Star Wars oeuvre, The Force Awakens, to introduce the concept of disruptive innovation and compliance. And I really see compliance really either lends itself to being disruptive innovatively, or disruptive innovation lends itself to working in compliance for three reasons. First of all, compliance is a process. And while this may seem as about the most self-evident statement that I, you, or anyone else can make, I still get contacted by companies that want an off-the-shelf compliance package and compliance solution. This is not what compliance is. It's a process. We've talked about this in earlier episodes, that it's a design process based upon you assessing your risk and then managing your own risk going forward. The second point is that Compliance 3.0 is very different from the compliance programs of the past. We have moved on to now operationalizing compliance into the very fabric of an organization. Compliance is no longer centered in legal or even the compliance department in a company. Compliance has moved out into the business unit. And so when you have a business unit process, it lends itself to having disruptive innovation. And then number three is that not all disruptive innovations succeed. Sometimes you can try new processes or procedures that may not work, but you remember that disruption is only one step in the creative and growth process. And if you build upon any things that you have done which didn't succeed, then you can consider it as really a unidimensional continuum, all moving forward. If you're concerned that the Department of Justice may chastise you or even sanction you for this, I think that is incorrect, because the department wants to see a well thought out program and procedures, but using your own innovative techniques. So I think disruptive innovation really works in the compliance field, Jay. I think it's something that compliance officers are going to utilize more fully to more completely operationalize compliance. And I think as we're able to inculcate compliance into the business units, it will create a much more robust form of compliance for the company.
Now, when you talk about the disruption, Tom, are you thinking that it's mostly technology that would be that disruptive force, or what other ways do you think that we can have disruption within compliance?
Well, certainly technology is going to be a part of that. Data is going to be a part of that. Utilizing the data, dicing and slicing it in different ways. I've heard a couple of great phrases. Finding patterns in raked leaves is one from Patrick Taylor of Oversight. I've also heard the phrase using data and compliance to look around corners. So data will be a part of that. And this is not something that typically lawyers and compliance practitioners have really understood and utilized in their compliance program. So I think it will be data-driven. It will be ways to consider different aspects of your business to determine if there's risk, because always remember, Mike Volkov says, follow the money. There has to be money or something else paid to get the benefit of the contract. So how did the employees generate enough money to pay a bribe? They had to utilize something, some business process, some failure of your controls, and having the ability to more completely detect and prevent that will be a disruptive innovation for compliance going forward. So this is Tom Fox and Jay Rosen. We'd like to thank you for listening to day 4 of our 5-part series on exploring the intersection of compliance and Star Wars. Tomorrow will be our final episode in this 5-part series, and I hope you will join us for our review of the movie Rogue One and compliance concepts around it. Thank you for listening. Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox again. I'd like to thank you for listening to part 4 of the 5-part series of May the Podcast Be With You on the intersection of Star Wars and compliance. If you have listened to this podcast on iTunes, I would greatly appreciate it if you would rate us, as it would help in our rankings. Also, if you have any questions, you can email me at tfox@tfoxlaw.com. You can email Jay at jrosen@affiliatedmonitors.com. Please join us tomorrow, where we take a look at the movie Rogue One and the compliance concept of the myth of the rogue employee in our final episode of our 5-part series. Popcorn and Compliance is a production of the Compliance Podcast Network.